Okay, I wanted to do a quick demonstration between the difference between alcohol ink and India ink. I kept searching the net and couldn't really find any videos on the difference between the two. So we're going to experiment here. Okay, so this is alcohol ink. It goes on, it spreads out, and then you can mix it like this. Add alcohol with it to make it smear, and it kind of spreads and really soaks in to the plexiglass. And then the India ink, you put it like this. It does not go anywhere. It doesn't spread out, it doesn't sink in, it just sits on the surface because it's got a pigment in it. It's thicker, and you can smear it, and it's, you know, it's great. It's beautiful. But this you don't want to let dry, they say, because once you do, it's permanent. But with alcohol, it's not permanent. So you can smear it while it's wet. This has more of a matte type finish, it looks like. So, and it dries really, really fast. The alcohol ink dries really, really fast. There's the India ink. Then let's see what happens when you add alcohol to it. So when it's dry and you add alcohol, it'll start to separate. This alcohol ink has, or this ink, I'm sorry, this alcohol has a little reddish tint to it because of the project that I'm doing, but it doesn't matter. This I'll add when it's wet. Let's see what it does. It instantly pulls apart and leaves some color in the center, whereas this just kind of separates the whole thing, kind of cleans it away. See, with alcohol that'll clean away that ink if you want it to. So that's still wet. We can add it to a part right here where it's dry, and we'll see what it does. Not much, not much. But see, it will come off with alcohol. So let's see what alcohol does with alcohol ink while it's wet. So there's the ink, alcohol, inks, and it's still wet, so we'll add to it. Whoa, that's a lot. Let's see, it separates, and then it'll also leave center little ringlets. Let's see this dry part. It just really doesn't want to move it once it's dry. So this is the India ink. The alcohol doesn't really want to move it like it does here when it's dry, whereas alcohol ink, it'll move it whether it's dry or wet. But see, slowly it is, and if you put your finger through it, it's going to move it. So that's the difference of the two. Let's see if I can stand it up so you can see it. The India ink takes a lot longer to dry, which it is a slick surface. This one's running. And then the India ink dries very fast because the alcohol dissipates. Here, this is alcohol that's running on it. This, let's see if you can see, is very clean, clear, like glass, whereas the India ink is like a pigment. You see the little pieces of paint, or like particles of paint. It's just not as, you know, clean. See, and then those pigments dried. So that is the difference. So it depends what you're going for. On this project, I'm actually using both. I'm mixing the two. I'm first doing India ink, or I mean alcohol ink, and then over top, because I want a little more of opaque look, I'm putting India ink. And then even I'm putting acrylic on top of that. So that's the difference between the two. I hope that helps.